A very good afternoon, morning, or evening, wherever you are, fellow cybersecurity enthusiasts. My name is Aloysius. I'm here to talk about harmony in motion. So, harmony in motion is actually talking about the harmony mobile systems that Huawei has developed as an ecosystem. And one of the things that why drove us towards developing this entire ecosystem is because of the explosion of adoption of IoT devices as a result of the digital transformation. We are seeing that it has become an engine of growth for the mobile internet sectors, and the forecast of global IoT devices and smartphone shipments is expected to skyrocket in the next 3 to 5 years. So by 2025, there are going to be more than 9 smart devices per person. So there is a need to build a mobile device ecosystems from smartphones to multi-devices, because it's not just about the mobile phone that you have in your pocket, but the smart watches and many other myriad of devices that you can put on your own body, right? So today you're talking about biohacking. But before biohacking, you're talking about things like, simple things like heart pacers, and these are considered IoT devices, and these will be part of the 9 devices that will be on your body. So it is a complex, multi-device collaboration that we're dealing with, which is a constant challenge for consumers and developers worldwide. The complex connection, the isolated ecosystems, the difficulty in managing data sharing, as well as the difficulty in collaborations, is all causing us a lot of headaches as we tackle this problem when we talk about digital transformation and adopting the digital lifestyle in the new digital era, right? So there's a whole chunk-full of digital out here, and that's maybe one of the reasons why Mark Zuckerberg is renaming Facebook into Meta, right, to represent the metaverse that we are all moving towards. So this fragmented operating systems is making device collaboration extremely difficult. It is difficult because of repeated development for different devices types, which you have to make an effort to develop for the various OSs, and sometimes it could mean developing the app all over again. And it's also difficult to adapt for different screens and interaction. I mean, you look at the different screen type that you have for your phone, the small one to the big one, to the tablets that are holding in your hand, to even that, devices that you have in your car, whether is it a Tesla or any vehicles, they all come with different shape and sizes. And not to mention that there is also the lack of efficient development environment and tools that is available at your disposal to address all these requirements. So in short, there is a lack of a harmonized app ecosystem that is easy to use, that doesn't have any entry or barrier entries, that you don't have to reinstall the app all over again extremely when you need it the most. So the connected world calls out and begs for the need of a universal language that can be understood by different kinds of devices or endpoints, so as to harness the potential of IoT enabled by 5G, cloud, and AI. And this is where we try to tackle the problem by looking at a Huawei seamless AI life strategy that can be addressed by the Huawei Harmony OS ecosystem, right? So down here, when we talk about the ecosystem, we're talking about the ecosystem from the apps perspective, the various applications that you can find to be installed in your phones and in whatever applications that are running, even your mobile, your mobile devices like your laptop, to the hardware itself, right? From the printers to the phones, to even the smart cars that you are dreaming to own one of these days, right? That will drive you from point A to point B without you even lifting a single finger. So this is where we see the opportunity, in developing this Harmony mobile system ecosystem, as well as, where we need to address the problem from a problem statement perspective if we really want to transit to the digital era and fully maximize, the potentials that it can bring us, and help our life. So in Harmony OS, we are looking at one OS to meet all the needs. Okay, to meet all the needs of the future 1+8+N ecosystem, which we are talking about all scenario smart life. So earlier we talked about by 2025, every person should have at least 9 devices on their body. So, this is the next generation smart device operating systems that you need to provide a uniform language for different devices to intelligize, right? They should be able to intelligize and interconnect and talk to each other, collaborate to share the information to bring simple, smooth and continuous and secure all scenario experience, right? Moving from your phone, if you're editing your messages, your SMS or your WhatsApp to, typing it on your laptop, to even continue the message on the car itself, or, as you go to the fridge, you open the fridge, you can continue to edit that message or write that report. This is a kind of seamless experience that we are now envisioning and saw it in all the anime series, all the TV series, all the futuristic Star Trek. This is something that is happening right now, and we need to enable all this transition. But, at the end of the day, every good thing always comes at a cost. And one of the costs is data privacy. How do we ensure data security protection throughout the entire data life cycle? By looking at whether are you the right person, that owns the data, that uses the data, and use it in the right way and on the right devices, right? It doesn't make sense if these devices, that this data that you are using, for example, is specific to one application scenario. It shouldn't be made available to another, type of application scenario or on another devices, because it will mean that there's a significant data leakage on there, right? Take for example, right? When you're moving and transiting from point A to point B in a smart vehicle, will you probably need that, in other smart devices like a smart toilet? Probably no, right? But that also means vice versa, right? The kind of sensitive data that's related to your personal health, that is from the smart toilet, the smart washroom, it shouldn't be also available outside of the toilet. It should stay, whatever happened in the toilet should stay in the toilet. So when we talk about the right person, we're looking at user identity authentication, where, you can provide greater security and convenience by harnessing the power of facial recognition, by using facial recognition as a way to authenticate yourself, or the fingerprint, or the password, right? So there must be multiple ways that you could do identification and authentication. So that means that, your facial and your trusted devices, and fingerprint, it all come together in the collaborative authentication, that is secure, but yet convenient. So the right person, is addressing the issue of whether, each device have a unique identity with a trusted connection between user, device, and services. So each device have a unique ID, and the device, user, service, there must be a trusted connection that allows you, to be able to, switch contacts from device to device, but at the same time, you are the right person to access all this data, right? For example, your daughter or even your closest, relatives or friends, your parents, your wife, you do not want them to access certain data that could be sensitive to you, especially it's a private data. So you probably would not, want this to be shared. Or the other case, if you drop your phone in the park, right, while you're jogging, or you drop your watch, in the park, when somebody pick up, they will not be able to access your sensitive data anyway. So to make sure that you are not only the right person, but you also have the right devices, because when we talk about hardware, you have to talk about the hardware root of trust, ensuring comprehensive device security from bottom up. So that means, talking about having a rich execution environment that you can build based on the trusted execution environment, where the formal verification enabled microkernel in Harmony will be able to allow you to have this level of assurance. And mind you right now that this microkernel that we have built is the only only microkernel that is available in mobile phones that have achieved the common criteria EAL5+ security certification, and making it the most secure microkernel, OS microkernel for phones device today, right? So there are several security capabilities that can be enabled by this microkernel, and the important thing is that you are able to build trust bottoms up. So that comes to, once you build the trust, you have to use the data in the right way. Hierarchical and graded data protection is the way to go, right? Depending on what is data classification and what kind of usage it is, you can build multi-layer protection for more important data. And I would not say that this is something that, what Huawei could provide, but this is something that is also on the wish list of everybody, that's sitting in this room, because at the end of the day, you will be concerned about your own personal data, especially, things that, surrounding applications that may have some sensitive outcomes, like, your banking information, your mobile wallet, to some of the, personal information like healthcare information that you will probably want to have a multi-level protection, because depending on who you want to share this data with and who probably would see what kind of data. So you need to have this multi-level protection. You need to ensure that the phones got locked and opened by the right people, especially not by anybody that you can see in the lock picking village here at here in the box. And you need to ensure that even if these things are lost or stolen, the data remains protected through encryption. So 3 layers of encryption for trusted interconnection, achieving full scenario security and trustworthiness are something that we have built in that is different from the conventional solution where smart devices are directly connected to the internet, exposing the IP addresses of these devices. What we did down here is to add an additional layer that create a near-field trusted connection that is not on the cloud, that allows smart devices to connect to the internet through a central hub that doesn't expose your IP addresses, therefore reducing the attack surface. So just a summary of some of the professional privacy and security certification that we have obtained. From privacy perspective, from ISO 27701 to e-privacy seal of GDPR, and the European Privacy Seal to 27018 from ISO. These are some of the professional certification that we obtained. For example, the Harmony mobile systems that we have done is among one of the world's first batch of products that have ever been certified by 27701. Okay. And these are the certifications that looking from the security perspective. I mentioned earlier EAL5+ for the microkernel, and we also have EAL4+ that is addressing the security of our TEEOS. And there's also, at the end of the day, a CSS star that we have obtained for the Huawei mobile services that is built on the cloud. So this is just a summary of some of the security certification that's obtained, right? So PCI, okay, for payment, FIDO for authentication. So this is in a nutshell, okay, of some of the things that, will further reassure you that what we have built attests to the highest stringent and most stringent cybersecurity and privacy requirement globally. So at the end of the day, we can build a secure and resilient, intelligent connected world with Harmony in motion using our Harmony OS and our Harmony mobile services to connect all the different devices together. And that also means that it will break the barrier where you will no longer be restricted just to install one OS for one particular devices, but you can use Harmony OS that will be able to allow you to use an app theoretically from any other kind of operating systems. So we are breaking the barrier that, that you are not restricted, to install just one particular operating system for your phone or for your applications, your IoT application, but you can use Harmony, right? They'll be able to, provide the bridging that's required to use the app from another operating system. So this is what we call by building an open and collaborative ecosystem with Harmony as the baseline that will be able to provide the baseline virtual machine interpretation that you can actually, use another application that's developed for another OS with no problem. So at the end of the day, as a user, I'm not limited by my choice. Whether, if I buy a certain brand of phone, I'm limited by the capability of the phone because I have to install that OS. But right now, we have this choice, and this choice is a secure and resilient choice that, at the end of the day, we'll see the transition of Huawei, putting that OS not only in our phone, but also in the future smart cars that is built on our our trusted mobile platform powered by Harmony. Thank you very much. That's what I got to share today.